Design Festival and the cultural project, born in 2016 and based in Turin, Italy. Since its first edition, Graphic Days has hosted a guest country in an exhibition named Eyes On. The aim of the exhibition is to present the best of design from a selected country. On occasion of Graphic Days Eyes on the Netherlands, we are presenting a calendar of digital events dedicated to the Dutch visual communication and the contamination between the European trends and influences in this field. The Eyes on the Netherlands project was born in collaboration with Graphic Matters, a festival based in Breda, and the Embassy and the Consulates of the Netherlands in Italy. Today, we're celebrating the best of Dutch visual design with Studio Dumbar. Studio Dumbar is an award-winning international design agency based in Rotterdam. They mostly work with branding and motion design. And for Eyes on the Netherlands, Studio Dumbar has kindly offered to show two of their projects. The first project is Demo, Design in Motion Festival. Started from a desire to bring the best of motion design to the wide public. And the second project is the recently renewed visual identity for the Netherlands. For those of you who can visit the festival in Turin, we invite you to come and feel the amazing, immersive installation that was created on this occasion. Today, together with Liza Enebeis, the studio's creative director, Merijn van Velsen, the lead visual designer, and Stan Haanappel, the studio's senior designer, we will go through the details of this project, the projects on show, and learn a little bit more about the Dumbar's vision of Dutch design. So we will now briefly show you a video of the exhibition in Turin. Feel free to leave your comments in the comment section below, and we will share them later with our guests.
Hello, everyone. I guess I'm live. I will share my screen with you. I'm Liza Enebeis. And 1 minute. I hope you can see my screen. If not, I will hear it. First of all, thank you very, very much for inviting us. I would like to talk to you first about the nature of Dutch design, and then I will continue about Studio Dumbar and the work we do. I'm Liza Enebeis, creative director of Studio Dumbar. I'm also Type Radio co-host and co-initiator. This is a podcast station about type and design. I'm an obsessive book collector, like a little bit too crazy, and a motion cheerleader. Okay, let's go. Let's talk about the true nature of the Dutch and why Dutch design is what it is now, or at least our point of view. If I would describe the Dutch, it would be open, innovative, organized, clear, and collaborative. But how do these words come about? I think it's directly connected, actually, to the Netherlands itself. And for the ones that don't know, actually the Netherlands means the lower countries. 26% of the Netherlands is below sea level. That means that most of the area, or the land, is reclaimed land. And that is something that has been going through all the years. Like, this is from the 1300s. And this is more recently in 2000. So all this land here that you see is actually reclaimed. So, for example, that's Amsterdam, and that's a bit, well, actually literally below sea level, and then there's the dunes that have been built. And so if you see that in real, like in an image, and this is not photoshopped, that the lower part here is way below the sea level. But in order to achieve this result, you really need to collaborate together. And that's really ingrained within the Dutch culture. And I mean, as you see from the 1300s, you can't live in isolation and then say, okay, let's create this polder system. You really need to work together to reclaim land. So you need to collaborate despite your differences. And you need to understand the interests and motives of the others to get the best possible results. And I think this mentality goes through in the work we do and how we work with each other, with our clients, or with our fellow citizens. So open, innovative, organized, clear, and collaborative is the result of this of way of living, and it comes through in all our design too. So back to Studio Dumbar. For those that don't know the studio, it's a studio that was founded in 1977, and we are 17 nice people. I like to always emphasize the word nice, and we have a focus on identity and motion. And with me today is Merijn and Stan, that will also talk about the projects that Xenia just introduced with you. And these are a few highlights of the work from Studio Dumbar: the Dutch Railways, the Dutch Police, Transavia, the low-budget airline, NL Brands that Merijn will introduce to you. I will not speak further. The refresh of the Van Gogh Museum, digital signs that you would see at the station, demo festival, and most recently, Future Natural. This is a new identity for Adidas, where Adidas has created this new technology of where they take the upper of the shoe and it's seamlessly connected to the lower part of the shoe with motion explorations that we made for them and the mark itself. So I have two projects that I wanted to show you that illustrate this idea of collaboration and also the idea of partnership, as I explained earlier. And for the first project, it's for Cumulus Park. This is an innovation district that is in Amsterdam. And this is where ING Bank has collaborated with Amsterdam University and a few startups, and they come together to exchange knowledge and to develop different technological projects. Their core or their main principle is diversity breeds, and that's also our starting point for design. So if you take this principle of exchange, collaboration, which is a purely, you know, when you see two parties collaborating, you can create something completely new. So this was also the principle in our design. So by having this simple exchange, you can create a new letter form. And with that new letter form, you can create new communication. How we designed this, actually, it was coded. We could, with this program, we could change the particle size, the frequency, the colors, to create an entire language, communication language, that is used in the entire identity, online and also offline, for their different events that they are organized in that area. And here in proposal stage for the internal signage and the famous clock, well, the famous clock for us, because since we designed this clock for them, now we're getting numerous questions to design clocks for people. And for the second and last project that I will show you, it's for Amsterdam Sinfonietta, and this is to illustrate more partnership, and a partnership that we have with the clients themselves. Amsterdam Sinfonietta is a string orchestra based in Amsterdam, and we've been working with them for maybe over 15 years. Not only did we design their original identity, but we have been designing their posters every year. And a different designer within the studio designs the series. So just to get an overview of the poster series, this is the series designed by Reggiani Del Bello when she worked at the studio, and her approach. This is Eric de Vlaam, Kek Feng, Vincent Vriends, Belgium designer, and his series, very much influenced by Wim Krauw and his approach. Dan Rietberger, who is also showing work, I think today, who's also showing work in Torino, and his series. So that's just to get a bit of an overview. And then came the identity of Amsterdam Sinfonietta. After approximately 3 years ago, we revisited the identity, because as you see, this mark doesn't necessarily work on the media landscape that we know of as now. 15 years ago, I think we had, 2 browsers, I don't know, I think Facebook, etc. But now most brands work on digital platforms, and this was really not equipped to work on all different platforms. So we revisited the identity, and we looked at their essence, and these were the most important words, and especially experiment and innovation. This is an orchestra that really, although classical, is actually extremely innovative in their approach and really embrace experimentation. We started with this program with processing, where we could feed in both moving image and sound to create these different patterns. And music is fleeting. And just like this program, we tried to capture this fleeting feeling, and introduced also color. And to show you now an example, we could change the size again, similar to Cumulus Park. We can change the size of the typography. We could change the colors. That meant also with any type of music, we could create a million different results. So to see how this all comes together. And by just changing the tone of music, you could also have a completely different result. So, for example, a lot more graphic. Or more playful. And with that, we captured that. We took stills that we could still bring back to print. For example, the program books. So it could work across all types of media, both digital and print. And just to show you the detail in the typography, here where we use the acronym the AS for Amsterdam Sinfonietta. Also in motion. And all the posters that we still continue making for them. And last but not least, this is the new series designed by Merijn, who will continue from here. So thank you from me, and on to Merijn.
Thank you. I hope you can hear me now. Open the presentation. I don't really know if you can see it now, but if not, I will hear it. Well, my name is Merijn van Velsen. I'm a lead designer at Studio Dumbar. Besides that, I also am a designer for a techno label called Float Records, which is more like a playground for me. And that's it. And I would like to talk about how to design an identity for a country, which is like an extremely difficult task. And the question is so big, it's really...
Okay. Merijn, can you hear me? I'm sorry, we can't see your presentation, so if you could maybe try to relaunch it.
Can you see it now?
Not yet.
Wait. Now?
Okay.
Yes? Are we there? Can you see it now?
Yes, we can see it. Thank you.
Perfect. Sorry, I will just rewind it a bit. So, lead designer, designer of Float Records also. But today I would like to talk about design of an identity for a country, and in this case, the identity for the Netherlands, which is a really difficult task, and I will tell you why. The question was, create a unifying identity for the Netherlands. It should be innovative, powerful, but also consistent, really modern from now. But on the other hand, it should also work for everyone. So a lot of countries will work with it, a lot of organizations, people from the embassy, a lot of non-designers should also be applied to work with this identity, and that gives a lot of restrictions also. But on one hand, but it should also be innovative on the other hand. So this is a huge task. And besides that, we had many organizations who are involved. So here is a small overview. In the middle row, you see all the top sectors. So it's agriculture, but it's also chemistry. It's also creative Holland, high-tech Holland, health Holland, logistics. So it's all over the place. And behind all these sectors are multiple organizations, so maybe even 50 organizations. And all these people have different needs and different wishes for this identity. And we just collected all the wishes and used that in the further process. But it was, besides designing the identity, it's also really a challenge to get all these people and all these organizations in one line and to make one decision. And that's not only by us, it's also by the client, but it is really an interesting process. Where they come from, this is actually, if you look at Google and just type in the Netherlands, you will see these images. It's all about flowers, mostly Amsterdam, water and bikes. That's actually the image that the Netherlands shows on the internet, and in the previous identity, it enhanced that image. So here you see the previous logo with the tulip. That is a symbol that is really recognizable for Holland, and the orange color, of course. And in the layout, we really emphasize on the cliche ideas of cheese and tulips and the clothing that is fitting with that. And here here you see a bit of the clash with the logo and the different industries. But actually, we have much more to offer. I just collected some of the stacks that are there, and well, I was also surprised about this. But this is our position within the world, the position of the Netherlands within the world. And I was extremely surprised about the first work-life balance, because probably it was not included the creative industry, because we're yeah, well, you know what I mean. But yeah, that's it. And what is quite interesting is that we have a lot of knowledge. We know a lot of things, and in the new strategy also we would like to cooperate with other people. So we don't want to attract people, more tourism to the Netherlands. It's more about co-creating and open up to the world and expand our knowledge and work together to solve global challenges. And that was the aim for now. So it's not about Holland and come to Holland. It's about the Netherlands presenting themselves to the world and start collaborating on global challenges. For that, we start sketching. So here you see really a small amount of different sketches, and we quite quickly started with an acronym, so the NL, because it's known all over the world. And we have actually 3 options. So you have the tulip, that is known all over the world for the Netherlands. You have the flag and NL, but the flag has different connotations sometimes, which is not, could be more or less extreme right wing. So therefore we thought, no, this is not a good approach. And in the end, we decided to combine the tulip, which is a really recognizable symbol, and NL together, but not in a way that the tulip is really prominent. Because if you are working in the tech industry or in the chemistry industry, you don't relate so much with this tulip. So if we integrate it in a nice and specific way, then it's there, but it gives room for every subject to present itself in its full glory. And this is the end result. So here you see the logo, which is with the integrated tulip. And next to it, this is the main logo. We say Netherlands, but we want to be cooperative. So in that case, we write the name of the country in all the different languages. So it's all about a gesture that you can read it as well. So that is really, that I find also the spirit of what Liza talked about is really about opening up and collaborating. And actually in this example, you already see it. And what we did is we created a system that everyone can work with. So it's a super simple system. You have a colored background with a flexible system with a type, image, and logo. And this system gives you the opportunity to really play with your communication. So sometimes you put the title really big, it's all about the content, but sometimes you want to be more expressive in your logo, and the logo can grow. And these vibrant colors in the background also make it modern, and don't stay too much on the orange, only the orange side. So this gives you a lot of room for different subjects to communicate. And this is the introduction of the style. And besides the video, we created a whole print output system. So here you see a billboard, and brochures and posters. And it still stays really simple, but yeah, the strict grid helps to make it strong. And it's nice that the colors can really play with the photography, because for example, on the left side you see yeah, that's really the chemistry area. But if you put a pink background, it becomes modern and also playful. And this is to end with our king, who's speaking behind the desk, and that's quite an achievement for a designer to see that it really comes alive. And I want to thank you. Now I will stop sharing.
So hello everyone, and I will take over the screen right now. Let's see. Please let me know when the screen is not visible. It should be visible right now. Yeah, stop me if not. So hello everyone, I'm Stan Haanappel. I'm a senior designer at Studio Dumbar. And today I will tell something about Demo Design and Motion Festival. Actually, like we heard already in the introduction, there is an exhibition right now during the Graphic Days in Torino where the selected works of the Demo Festival are being shown, as well as the annual branding identity. So please, if you're around or near Torino, please go there, because it looks really, really good. So I'm going to take you back how this whole idea of Demo Festival was shaped, and I'll take you back to this view of the train station. So maybe some of you know these screens. These are the advertising screens, the out-of-home screens of exterior media. And most of the day, these screens are just showing advertisements in the bigger train stations of the Netherlands. But what we discovered was that at some parts of the day, these screens were actually not showing advertisements, but these were showing screensavers. So these penguins showed up when there was like empty spots in the advertising slots. And this was actually where the collaboration between Exterior Media and Studio Dumbar started, because Exterior Media asked us to replace their screensavers with motion pieces, and we were completely free to do whatever we wanted. It was like a really great assignment for us. So where did we start it? So since the majority of these screens are located in Dutch train stations, we took the city naming as our starting point. So if you take, for example, the name of Rotterdam, and we took Rotterdam and placed it inside the screen, of course you have a lot of rest space in the screen. You want to use every pixel in these big screens for your motion piece. So obviously, if you stretch the type of Rotterdam, then the type also gets really distorted. So we wanted to find a way to just working with type and motion to display these names of these cities. And in order to do that, we actually developed a variable typeface within the studio. And this typeface can actually stretch like really far, but also be really condensed, but the balance always stays there. And to animate it, we developed also a custom code in Drawbot, as you can see here. And with this custom tool being made, we were able to render out all these city names. Here another example with just the numbers fitted inside the screen of the slideshow right now, and the full alphabet. And here in this slide, I think you can really see well that all these letters, like the balance is still there. So the in-between spaces, they still remain the same. And this will be different when you just stretch a normal font. So with this tool being made, we finally were able to create these cities in motion, how we call them, And here are a few examples. Here you have Amsterdam, Rotterdam, and Delft. And we also included the colors of the cities inside the motion pieces. Some other cities may be less known by most of you. Deventer, Beverwijk, and Sneek. And in the end, we developed almost like, I think it was more than 50 different city names and motion pieces. And then like the magical moment was there that we were finally like sharing them out in the wild. So here, for example, you see the Rotterdam being played in Rotterdam Central Station. And the example of the Amsterdam version in Amsterdam. And these are shots that we've made. But what was really great, like after this being broadcasted, we got like a lot of messages from different people, like trying to capture our emotion that came up between these advertisement moments. And a lot of people were sending this to us. And it came even to a point that we wanted to travel to different cities to capture our own motion pieces, to see them in the public space, because it was such a cool thing to see your own experiments of your studio out there. And this was also actually where the idea was formed to organize a festival where more people can share their work, because we got so much like excitement by seeing our work in the public space. We thought we should share this opportunity. So this is where Demo was born, and we see so many great artists and motion designers all around the world, and we see them mostly on Instagram, their work. So yeah, we thought, why not initiate the world's largest motion design festival? And we wanted to show work from designers all around the world. And to do that, we wanted actually to organize it in Amsterdam Central Station, because this is one of the biggest stations in the Netherlands. And what is also a fun fact is that this is the station with the highest density of screens. So the most advertising screens in a train station are located in Amsterdam Central Station. So what we wanted to do was taking over all 80 screens, 4 really big video walls for 24 hours. And this was the whole plan, and it was a wild plan from us. And we also thought, okay, we already have actually 251,500 visitors each day, because these are just the people that are traveling through the station, taking the train. So that was something that we already had in the pocket. And with this idea, we went to Exterior Media and we asked them, like, hey, can we do this? And they actually said yes. So this was like for us, wow, like, okay, we are actually going to organize an exhibition, a festival in this scale. So in order to do that, we needed to design an identity. We needed to design Demo. And to do this, we started in a quite an unusual way. Like normally, if you create something in motion, and of course, this was a festival identity for a motion festival, so it should work in motion. Usually, you start with like the programs like After Effects or Cinema 4D, like the really motion programs. But in this case, Elvin was in our team from Studio Dumbar, and he started sketching in quite a unknown program, especially for motion, which is Autodesk Sketchbook. And we found out this trick that if you import an image in the software, you were able to sort of transform the image from the middle. So you can grab this little point and squeeze it in all the corners of the image, and move it around, which we really like, because we didn't knew like in any motion software how to recreate this. And Autodesk Sketchbook is not a motion software, so we actually started making the first demo logo, by screen capturing each letter inside the software. So what you will see next was the first demo logo in motion. And if you look really closely, you actually see all the imperfections and the cursor is still moving around, because these were still screen captures. But we really liked it. So we started to look around, like we needed to take control of this technology, of course. But in order to do that, we needed to code this sort of effect ourselves, because we were not able to recreate it somewhere else. So Sander Sturing, our creative coder, I think he spent a lot of evenings trying to understand like what this system is about, and he figured it out. it's actually when you import an image, it slices up the image in different tiles, and then by moving your mouse, you stretch and squeeze these different tiles from the image. And then, like, this was the first time that we created this program, and we were able to transform our own letter. So that was like the opening for us to create this identity. It was so cool to play around with it ourselves and take total control over it. So from there, we created the final demo logo. So this is the full logo. As well with the line logo, where we used actually the same sort of technique, but then instead of using it on one letter, we used it on full words. And of course, like if you start playing around with these letters, we couldn't resist. So we also decided, okay, let's just continue. Let's make every letter from the alphabet, because we were working on it, and this was just great to do. And from there on, we needed to make the first asset. So the first asset that we created was the demo website. And because we experienced that during our sketching process, we liked it so much to play around ourselves with this logo and to make it move ourselves, to actually interact with it. We decided for the website to make it interactive as well. So if you now visit demofestival.com, you can play around with your mouse with the logo yourself. Also, the menu is like squeezing the logo as well, because like this whole identity is about like filling these spaces. So it would not be good to just overlay the logo. It should all fit within one screen. Another page with the participants, also with a letter in the background interacting on your mouse. And then we also created the phone that at that time we were able to use this axis of your phone. So if you moved your phone around, the demo logo was interacting with the movement of your actual device. So with all these elements being made, we created the first teaser of the festival that I will play right now. Sorry, I'll play it again. So then we had our open call for designers to submit their motion works, and Demo actually generated 2,738 submissions from designers from 904 different designers from 70 different countries. And this was just so great to see that so many people submitted their work and wanted to be part of Demo this year. And from there, like all these motion pieces, we had a team curating, including Liza Enebeis, Koos Brain, and Xavier Monnier. And they made a selection for the final selection for the festival. And just to give you a little bit of an idea of the scope, these were all the pieces that made it to the festival itself, which is quite a lot. And I thought, especially for this presentation, let's take a few also to show you the breadth of the designs and also the differences and the great work that has been sent in. So a few examples. One of these examples is from Dia Studio. They used actually like footage from a travel in the train, what I thought was really, really cool. And I still think, I think it's actually the Netherlands, because if you look really closely, you see a lot of greenhouses in there. Another example is Dirk Kooi. I was already like a long time fan of his work from Instagram actually. He always combines the physical world with these graphical images, and also in this case, it really plays with the size of the screen. You know, like this ball is never leaving the screen, and that was also really cool to see when you challenge the sizes of the screen. That happens also in the next example from Martinek, really great 3D artist, which also sort of he created sort of the screen itself as sort of a physical space. So it became so 3D that the screen felt like there was depth behind it. Owen Showman, yeah, this for me, I have no clue how it works, but that's why it intrigues me a lot. I think this is just really, really cool, and it had like a lot of impact on the festival itself. More and more collective, really great 3D artist, also shown during the festival. Plumure, their gradient works, and then Bro Borsche, and this was also like a really creative take on, almost like a conceptual take, like it was this poetic way of telling in typography how you're like looking outside the window of the train. So it's almost like this dreamy view, but then in type generates. So, and I really love the moment when it goes through a tunnel and it says light, 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 light. I think that is just really, really smart. And then Jonas Arizona, I didn't knew his work before Demo Festival, but he sent it in these pieces where he used the size of the screen and created this like flat person walking in circles. And yeah, this is one of my favorites. Like it's so great to see a full station with just all these animations of these running people like stuck inside the screens. Yeah, which was really great. This is another example of his work with two people running around. I think it's really, really cool. And then last but least is Young Studio, and they are creating like these animations and these visuals in AR, so they are sculpting, and they were really static, but only the eye was moving, and that gave this super absurd sort of feeling when you're walking around during the festival, that these motion pieces were actually like looking at you as a visitor. And a fun fact was that the news he's owning Studio Young together with his girlfriend. He also joined Studio Dumbar after Demo. A really great guy, great work. Look them up. So now you saw like all these motion pieces on black backgrounds, but of course, yeah, the best was to see them in the public space, because that was the festival and the whole purpose of the festival. So here are some highlights of the festival itself. First, some photographs. Here you see the Young Studio work on the bigger screens. And actually, like what was the most amazing experience for us for this festival was that all of a sudden you saw in front of all these screens, you saw people, groups, like there were people standing in front of it, taking pictures, talking about the works. And it was just such a rare scene on the train station, because normally like people rush here to their train and they go really quickly and they don't even stop by a screen. And now everywhere there were these groups, even on the platforms, like you had these groups gathering around the screen, like it became like an outside exhibition. And that was just, it was just really great. This is one of those images, you know, like this really big group of people staring at the big video wall. And like there were people coming here from all over the world. Like I even heard somebody coming from Brazil all the way to Amsterdam to see his work and the other works. And of course you had people visiting, but you also had people who had nothing to do with the festival. They didn't know about the festival, but because people were watching at these screens, they also stopped and they also started staring. So yeah, that was just a really wonderful experience and a wonderful day. And what was also really great was that you finally got to know the people behind the work. So I knew a lot of these designers from Instagram, like their name and their work. And then all of a sudden during this festival, you saw them in person and you saw your heroes in person and people talking together and meeting each other. So yeah, this was just, for us, a really great moment, and hopefully we will organize it again in the future. And of course, now if you are there in Torino, please visit the Graphic Days exhibition. And that was actually it. Thank you very much. Yeah, keep an eye on our socials for maybe updates about demo. Yeah, thank you for your attention. Stop.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for the presentations. It was really interesting to know the details of each project, and we really appreciate the fact that you have let us have Demo Festival inside a building, because I know that that was a very important aspect for the exhibition, for it to be outside. But as some of our visitors know already, an Italian collective Okra has actually registered the sounds of Turin to accompany the Demo Festival exhibition here in Turin. So you will probably hear the sounds of trains and the train station of Torino Porta Nuova, and maybe children playing outside. And so we believe that this could be maybe a little part that could help having this public aspect of the project. And I also have a couple of questions for you. So the first question is, what are the future plans for the Demo Festival?
That future plans, ideally can organize it again, but of course at the moment we're a little bit on standstill, waiting to see how the situation develops, because most public areas are, we cannot use the public areas for exhibitions at the moment in the Netherlands. So the 2019 demo is traveling and is obviously with you. It's also will be going to Chamonix, and we also have a few more requests to travel to other parts of the world. So for the moment, we're waiting, and hopefully we can organize the 2022 demo festival in Amsterdam again.
So are you planning to have a second round of the open call so that the new designers can apply?
Yeah, of course. But as soon as we hear if and when it is possible.
Okay, this sounds really inspiring. We will follow your social media to stay as updated as possible on this. And since most of your projects have a really strong aspect of motion and animation in it, so how do you think visual communication got influenced by introduction of animation and motion design?
Stan, do you want to take it?
I think a lot has changed, because now you can tell way more emotion. Like the character changes all of a sudden, where first it was just a still. Now you can add so much more character to a brand or to a design piece, that I think it influenced a lot. A lot of new technologies came. So for us, I think we spend a lot of time in developing our skills and exploring this. So for us, it really changed. Yeah. I don't know if you want to add something, Liza, to that.
No.
It's also that our way of working has changed. It also influenced a lot of the static images.
Yeah.
So it's more that actually most of the time we also start with motion, and then for motion we go back to static, because you make something in motion that is much more appealing or super interesting, and then turn it around into static image.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know, Lisa, if you have something to add.
No, it's good. I mean, it's clear. If everything moved, we would be very, very happy.
Okay, thank you. Then thank you so much for your presentation for this online event, and thank our thank goes to everyone who has tuned in for this session, and we invite again those of you who can come and visit the exhibition in person to come. The exhibition is Eyes on the Netherlands is open until the 30th of May, and for those of you who unfortunately can't visit us, we invite you to follow other online events, the upcoming online events, for example, the one that we are going to have tomorrow with Trapped in Suburbia, where they will talk a little bit more about their project, Flags of Peace. Yeah, I guess that's it, and we'll see you very soon during Graphic Days Eyes on the Netherlands. Have a good evening.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.